There is a man who has been thinking about you for much longer than you realize. Not only today, not only this week. For a long time, your presence has stayed in his mind in ways he cannot explain. His feelings reach much deeper than anything he has ever shown you. They are stronger than the words he has kept inside, and even stronger than what he fully understands himself. Maybe you cannot see it yet. Maybe there are moments when you doubt that anyone could ever care about you this deeply. But somehow you found this message at exactly the right time, because there is something your heart needs to hear, something that has been waiting quietly until you were ready to receive it. This man truly loves you in a way that has been growing silently. Pause for just a second and let those words settle inside you. Do not reject them immediately. Do not convince yourself they cannot possibly be true. Simply allow yourself to consider the possibility. Sometimes the biggest truths arrive softly instead of loudly. And before we go any further, there is something important you need to understand, because this story is more complicated than it appears. There is a reason these feelings have stayed hidden instead of becoming obvious. Something has been standing between the two of you. It is not another person, it is not the absence of love. It is something much deeper, something buried beneath the surface that has quietly shaped every step of this connection. Stay with me, because in a moment you will understand what that hidden barrier really is, and I have a feeling the answer may surprise you more than you expect. Before you discover what has been holding everything back, you need to hear one simple truth. What you have been feeling has never been fake. The bond between you and this man is not something your imagination invented. It was never created by loneliness or wishful thinking. It has always been real. Your heart has been trying to tell you that from the very beginning. Think about the moments you shared. Maybe there was a glance that stayed a little longer than expected. Maybe there was a conversation that felt unusually meaningful, even though the words were ordinary. Maybe there was a quiet silence that somehow said more than either of you could explain. Or maybe it was simply the feeling you had whenever he stood close to you. A calm warmth, a sense of peace, a feeling that everything around you became quieter for a few precious seconds. Those moments mattered. They were not accidents. Sometimes our hearts understand what our minds are still trying to figure out. There were probably nights when you found yourself thinking about him without meaning to, wondering if you had crossed his mind too, wondering whether everything you experienced existed only inside your own heart. If you have ever asked yourself those questions, know this: you were never foolish. You were never weak for caring. You were responding to something genuine that was already unfolding beneath the surface. Keep listening, because what comes next explains why everything has felt so confusing. Not every meaningful connection begins with clear words or grand promises. Some of the strongest bonds grow quietly. They reveal themselves through small moments, gentle energy, and feelings that refuse to disappear no matter how much time passes. You may have noticed that whenever he entered the room, something inside you shifted. Maybe your attention naturally moved toward him before you even realized it. Maybe conversations with him stayed in your mind long after they ended. Those experiences were telling you something important. There are connections that speak without needing constant conversations. They show themselves through comfort, familiarity, and an unexplainable sense that someone matters more than logic can describe. While you questioned yourself, something inside him was also struggling. His feelings were growing, yet another part of him kept holding them back. That silent battle is the hidden reason nothing has fully unfolded yet. It is not because you were unworthy. It is not because he did not care enough. Sometimes people carry invisible fears that become stronger than their own hearts. Those fears can delay beautiful things even when love is already present. If this message feels strangely familiar, stay until the end because the next part reveals what has been happening inside his heart all along, and once you understand it, many moments from your past may finally begin to make sense in a completely different way. The truth is that he has been carrying emotions he never found the courage to express. Every time he came close to opening his heart, something inside told him to stay silent a little longer. It was not because his feelings disappeared. They never did. They only became quieter on the outside while growing stronger on the inside. He replayed conversations in his mind. He remembered little details you probably forgot. He noticed your smile, your kindness, your energy, and the way you made ordinary moments feel different. Even during times when life pulled you in separate directions, your memory stayed with him. That is why certain encounters between you always felt unfinished, as if something important remained unsaid. Deep inside, he has been hoping that the right moment would finally arrive. Whether he realizes it or not, his heart has been moving toward you much longer than his actions have shown. Sometimes life delays what the heart already knows, because both people still have lessons to learn before they can truly meet without fear. If these words are touching something inside you, trust that feeling instead of dismissing it too quickly. And if this message feels like it was meant to find you today, let yourself quietly acknowledge it. Sometimes the first step toward understanding is simply allowing yourself to say, "I feel this." Take a quiet moment and let yourself be fully present. If these words found you today, maybe there is a reason. Maybe this message arrived exactly when your heart needed it most. If you are new here, welcome. Stay until the end, because what you are about to hear could explain feelings you have been carrying for a long time. Make sure you follow and turn on notifications so you never miss another message that may speak directly to your journey. Now let us look at what is happening inside this man, because the person you see on the outside is very different from the one he keeps hidden within. On the surface, he may seem calm, he may appear distant, quiet, or completely in control. He might act as though nothing is affecting him at all, but beneath that calm expression, he is facing a struggle he does not know how to solve. He loves you. Deep down, he already knows that. Yet every time he thinks about showing those feelings, something inside him tells him to stop. That is where everything becomes complicated. The problem has never been a lack of love. The problem is that his heart wants to move forward while his fear keeps pulling him back. Stay with me because the next part may reveal why his actions have never matched what you sensed in your heart. This man has been deeply hurt before. Not by one small disappointment, but by experiences that changed the way he understands love itself. Somewhere along the way, he learned that opening his heart could lead to pain. Maybe someone walked away without warning. Maybe someone promised forever and then disappeared when life became difficult. Maybe he trusted the wrong person and was left carrying wounds no one else could see. Or maybe it was not one single event at all. Maybe it was years of believing that caring too much only ends with heartbreak. Whatever happened, the lesson stayed with him. He slowly built emotional walls without even realizing it. He convinced himself that if he never let anyone get too close, then no one would ever have the power to completely break him. For a while, those walls seemed to protect him. Distance felt safer than vulnerability. Silence felt easier than honesty. Keeping control seemed better than risking another painful loss. But life has a way of challenging the walls we think will last forever. When a connection is real, fear can delay it, but it cannot erase it. Keep watching, because what happened when you entered his life changed everything he thought he understood about protecting his heart. Without trying, you reached a place inside him that he believed had been locked away forever. You did not force your way in. You did not chase him or demand anything from him. It happened naturally. Something about your kindness, your presence, your energy or simply the way you made him feel quietly slipped past every defense he had spent years building. That is what frightened him the most. It was never your presence that scared him. It was the intensity of his own emotions. Suddenly, he found himself thinking about you when he least expected it. At night, your memory returned without invitation. He replayed little moments that you probably forgot long ago. The way you laughed at something simple, the expression on your face during an ordinary conversation, the comfort you brought without even trying. Those memories became part of his daily life. They followed him into his mornings, stayed with him through busy afternoons, and returned again when the world became quiet. Even when he met other people, something felt missing because every comparison somehow led back to you. He never planned for this to happen. Real feelings rarely arrive with a warning. They grow slowly, almost silently, until one day they become impossible to ignore. If this sounds familiar, keep listening, because the final truth may explain everything that has confused you. Instead of moving closer, he often stepped back. Instead of speaking openly, he became quieter. Instead of admitting what his heart already knew, he created more distance because distance felt less frightening than complete honesty. His silence has never been proof that he does not care. In many ways, it has been the opposite. His feelings became so strong that he feared what would happen if he finally allowed them to be seen. That is the real complication. He is not running because there is no love. He is hesitating because the love feels bigger than anything he has experienced before. But there is something equally important you need to remember. His fears are not your responsibility to carry. His emotional walls are not a reflection of your worth. You did not do anything wrong by caring deeply. You were never too much. You were never too open. Your kindness is not the problem. Your ability to love is not a weakness. In fact, it may be the very thing that reached a part of him no one else ever could. If these words connect with your heart, let yourself sit with them for a moment. And if this message feels like it was meant to find you today, share the words "soul connection" below and stay until the next message, because the story is only beginning. You loved without keeping count. You gave your heart without asking for guarantees. You stayed kind when many people would have closed themselves off after being disappointed. That kind of love takes quiet courage, even if no one says it out loud. One day he will understand just how rare that is. One day he will look back and realize that your heart offered something he had been searching for without knowing it. Life has a way of bringing hidden truths into the light, and feelings that remain silent forever are far rarer than people think. So never shrink yourself to make someone else's fears feel comfortable. Never dim your light because another person is still learning how to face their own heart. Do not question your value simply because he has not yet found the courage to speak. Your worth has never depended on someone finally recognizing it. You were valuable long before he noticed you. You are valuable today, and you will remain valuable no matter what choice he makes tomorrow. The right person will never ask you to become less than you truly are. When this man finally reaches that place inside himself, he will not fear your light anymore. He will appreciate it. He will stand beside it instead of running from it. Stay with me, because there is another important piece of this story that explains why everything has unfolded so slowly, and it may change the way you see his silence forever. The truth is that it is not only his past holding him back. Another struggle lives quietly inside him every single day. When he looks at his own life, he convinces himself that he is still not ready for the kind of love you deserve. He tells himself he should become stronger first, more confident, more secure, more successful, more certain about who he is before asking someone like you to walk beside him. This has never been only about money, career, or status. It is much deeper than that. It is about the way he sees himself when no one else is watching. In his own mind, he keeps thinking that he should arrive as the best version of himself, instead of someone who is still carrying unfinished battles. Part of him believes he is protecting you by staying back. He does not want to offer you a heart that still feels damaged. He wants to believe that when he finally comes forward, he will be able to give you everything instead of only pieces. But life rarely waits until people feel completely prepared. Some of the most meaningful relationships begin while two imperfect people are still growing together. Keep listening, because this next truth is something he has not fully realized yet, and it changes everything. The reality is simple. No one is ever completely ready for love. No one reaches a perfect moment where every fear has disappeared, every wound has healed, and every question has been answered. That moment does not exist. Love has never been a prize people receive after fixing themselves. Real love often becomes part of the healing itself. It grows through honest conversations, shared struggles, patient understanding, and the willingness to keep choosing each other while both people continue becoming who they are meant to be. His belief that he is somehow not enough has already delayed something beautiful. It has stolen time from both of you. It has kept two hearts standing farther apart than they ever needed to be. Yet there is something he still cannot see clearly. You never expected perfection from him. You were never searching for someone who had every answer or every part of life perfectly organized. What mattered to you was honesty, effort, presence. A person willing to show up with sincerity and keep growing. That was always enough. You wanted someone genuine, not someone flawless. And wanting that has never been asking for too much. If these words are speaking directly to your heart, stay until the very end, because the final piece explains why everything may soon begin to change. Something inside him has already started shifting, even if you cannot see it yet. Slowly, the walls he depended on are becoming harder for him to hold in place. Little by little, he is beginning to question the fears that once controlled every decision. Take a slow breath and let that thought settle inside you. He is not completely lost. He is finding his way one small step at a time, even during moments when he believes he is simply following ordinary life. Deep inside, he already knows how he feels about you. That has not been the source of his confusion for a very long time. What truly confuses him is what he should do with those feelings. More than once he has thought about reaching out. He has written messages that were never sent. He has picked up his phone late at night only to put it back down again. He has stared at your name on a screen, imagined conversations that never happened, practiced words in his mind, and then convinced himself to wait a little longer. Many mornings begin with thoughts of you before the noise of the day takes over. He wonders whether you still think about him. He wonders if you have already moved forward. He wonders if someone else is now making you smile. That thought stays with him longer than he wants to admit, because hearts do not always follow logic. They simply feel what they feel. His silence has never been proof that he does not care. It is often the behavior of someone who cares so deeply that he becomes afraid of making the wrong move and risking something that could become truly beautiful. If this message feels meant for you, let yourself stay open, because sometimes the story is closer to changing than it first appears. He is afraid that if he finally speaks, he might choose the wrong words about something that means everything to him. That is why he stays quiet. His silence is not rejection. His distance is not a sign that he does not care. His hesitation is not proof that you mean very little to him. In many ways, it is the opposite. You have become so important that he fears making one mistake that could change everything. If you believe life unfolds at the right moment, write divine timing in the comments and let your heart stay open to what is ahead. Keep listening, because what you are about to hear explains the struggle he hides from everyone around him. During the day, he smiles, works, talks to people, and acts as though everything is normal. But inside, another story is unfolding. Small reminders of you appear when he least expects them. A place you once visited, a phrase you used to say, a familiar scent that suddenly brings back memories he thought were gone forever. He tries to ignore those feelings. He keeps himself busy and tells himself to move forward. Yet the heart has a memory that the mind cannot easily erase. No matter how much he tries to push those emotions away, they always find their way back. That is why his silence should never be mistaken for a lack of feeling. Sometimes the deepest emotions are the hardest to express. There are moments when he is surrounded by people and still feels completely alone. Conversations continue around him, yet part of his mind quietly drifts back to you. He realizes that very few people have ever understood him the way you did. Very few people could look beyond the surface and notice what he was really feeling. Your presence had a way of bringing calm into his world, and now he notices the difference every time that peace is missing. He has tried to replace the space you hold inside his heart. He has filled his schedule, distracted himself with responsibilities, and convinced himself that time would slowly erase what he feels. But instead of fading, those emotions have become stronger. Day after day they grow louder. While his longing increases, something beautiful has been happening inside you. Your peace has been growing. You built that peace yourself through difficult nights, unanswered questions, and moments when giving up would have been easier than moving forward. Every time you chose healing instead of bitterness, you became stronger. Every time you picked yourself up after disappointment, you created a quiet strength that belongs only to you. Hold on, because this next part may be exactly what you needed to hear today. When the world becomes quiet and there is nowhere left to hide, he is forced to face a truth he spends most of the day avoiding. He loves you. That feeling has remained with him far longer than he expected. The greatest obstacle has never been another person or bad timing. It has been the fears living inside his own heart. He has spent so much time believing he was not ready, not worthy, or not enough. Those thoughts have shaped many of his choices, but they are beginning to lose their power. Little by little, the stories he kept repeating to himself are starting to fall apart. Real love has a way of challenging the lies fear creates. At the same time, your own journey has been transforming you. Waiting did not break your spirit. It refined it. Every difficult season made you wiser. Every lonely evening taught you something about your own strength. You did not simply survive the waiting. You became someone new because of it. You no longer chase people who refuse to meet you halfway. You no longer shrink yourself just to make someone else comfortable. You learned to stand in your own worth without asking anyone for permission. That quiet confidence is one of the reasons he finds it impossible to forget you. Stay until the end, because the final part may explain why everything now feels different. The change inside you is quietly changing him as well. There is a powerful calm that comes from finally knowing your own value, and people can feel it even when nothing is spoken aloud. He feels it too. That peaceful strength naturally draws him closer without you forcing anything to happen. Slowly, the walls around his heart are beginning to weaken. Not through one dramatic moment, but through many small realizations that continue building day after day. He is beginning to understand that losing you would hurt far more than being honest with you. He is starting to see that the walls he once believed would protect him have become the very thing keeping him away from the happiness he truly wants. You may even notice small reminders appearing around you in the days ahead. A dream that stays with you after waking. A familiar song that suddenly captures your attention. A meaningful number appearing again and again. Moments that seem ordinary yet quietly touch something inside you. At the same time, he is experiencing reminders too. Your name appears unexpectedly. Certain memories return without warning. Dreams leave him thinking about you long after the morning begins. These moments encourage him to face what he has avoided for so long. But eventually, every person must choose their own path. That moment is getting closer for him, and when he finally reaches out, it may not sound like the uncertain man you once knew. It may come with honesty, clarity, and the courage he has been searching for all along. If this message has spoken to your heart, stay with the next one, because the story is not over yet.